I don't want to create any kind of tension between our nations, but right now I have a really difficult fight ahead of me, and we'll fight the fight and we'll see what happens.
Is there a world where you could end up fighting Islam Makhachev at 170?
We'll see who is going to be the champ there, but I don't know. It's the fastest way to get the pound for pound, number one.
It's a good fight, but a tough fight. I go a little bit more on Islam.
Islam Makhachev opened up about his potential move to a new division, the tough challenges awaiting him, and the possibility of future super fights. He explained that these decisions will shape the next phase of his career while sharing key insights into his preparation and what fans can expect ahead of his next bout. While answering questions regarding a fight with Khamzat Chimaev, Islam Makhachev avoided giving a direct response, stressing that his focus is on his upcoming fight. Moreover, he said they will see what happens afterward. Regarding Chimaev's recent performance, Islam expressed his admiration for how effortlessly Chimaev executed takedowns and maintained control throughout the fight, showcasing his wrestling strength without even going full force.
I don't want to create any kind of tension between our nations, but right now I have a really difficult fight ahead of me, and we'll fight the fight and we'll see what happens. And regarding his performance, yeah, of course, he worked really well. He dominated the entire fight. He didn't necessarily force anything. He didn't even necessarily put too much behind his punches. I mean, he had the goal to become a champion. I even think that maybe if he wanted to force the issue a little more, if he wanted to pressure a little more, then he could have possibly finished him. But he definitely impressed me with the fact that he was able to take him down so easily.
Moreover, Khamzat Chimaev clarified his stance on a potential fight with Islam. He said the matchup could happen depending on who becomes champion at welterweight. At the same time, he isn't sure if that fight would be the quickest path to becoming the pound-for-pound #1.
Is there a world where you could end up fighting Islam Makhachev at 170?
We'll see who is going to be the champ there, but I don't know. It's the fastest way to get the pound for pound, number one.
Moreover, Khamzat made it clear that no final decisions have been made about his plans. He admitted that he and his team had considered different possibilities, but they'll wait and see what happens after this fight. He also shared his thoughts on the Islam versus Jack matchup. He said that it will be a great fight, but a very tough one. He gave a slight edge to Islam while acknowledging that it won't be an easy challenge for either fighter.
Just focus on this fight, but after that we will see. But we always have some different plans, but we'll see what's going on.
And who do you think is going to win in the fight between Jack Della and Islam?
It's a good fight, but a tough fight. I go a little bit more on Islam.
Meanwhile, regarding his move to welterweight, Islam revealed that he had switched divisions because compelling matchups weren't available at lightweight. He highlighted that the new champion, Jack Della Maddalena, is a very skilled fighter, which motivated him to push harder in training and prepare for a tough bout. He acknowledged Maddalena's improvements in wrestling defense and his well-rounded skill set, making the matchup a true test of ability.
I don't see some interesting fight in my division. That's why we make decision to move up, because now they have new champion, a very good fighter, Jack Della Maddalena, and it's fight make me training every day, make me wake up early morning.
Islam stated that he has no plan to fight until he's 37 or 38, so he wanted to compete more frequently while he still could. With less weight cutting, he believed he could fight up to 3 times a year. He also dismissed rumors about a limited number of fights remaining, emphasizing that his career is just getting started.
I don't know, man. Now I have to fight more, I think, because I don't have much time. I don't want to fight when I'm like 37, 38, and now I don't have to cut much weight. I don't need more time for recovery. Now I can fight 3 times a year easy.
Islam also recognized that Jack Della Maddalena will be a tough opponent, noting his notable improvements in wrestling defense. He acknowledged Maddalena's well-rounded skills, making him strong in every aspect of the fight. Makhachev believed their matchup would be a true test of skill and a challenging contest to determine the world's best fighter.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hard fight. Honestly, it's gonna be. I saw his fight against Bilal. He's good, man. He is good. When he beginning fighting in UFC, he had a problem with the wrestling, but now he's improved because I see he training a lot with the wrestlers, with the grapplers, and that's why he's a champion right now, and he's good everywhere.
Moreover, Islam addressed the possibility of facing Ilia Topuria. He acknowledged the intrigue in the matchup and expressed personal interest, suggesting that a super fight could happen depending on the weight and circumstances. When asked directly about returning to lightweight to face Topuria, he replied simply, "As you wish," showing openness to the idea without committing to any specific plans.
Есть с Топурией какая-то интрига. Мне самому тоже интересен этот бой. Может, получится сделать какой-то супер бой. Или, как я сказал, посмотрим по весу.
Я вернулся в легкий вес, чтобы ты уничтожил Топурию, и он наконец заткнулся и не говорил ничего о бойцах из Дагестана. Стал Макхачев чемпион.
Как ты хочешь, что сделать?
From a weight perspective, Islam explained his current size as he prepares for a potential move to welterweight. Before his last camp, he weighed around 183 to 185 pounds, and recently his weight reached 190.5 pounds. He said whether he can return to lightweight depends on his weight after the upcoming fight. If, a month later, he stays around 83 to 84 kilograms, 183 to 185 pounds, then moving back down to 155 could still be an option.
Да, вот до последнего сбора у меня вес был 84-83 килограмм. На этом сборе, соблюдая режим питания, у меня вес поднялся 86,5 было вчера. Ну, я думаю, уже можно сказать, я в оптимальном весе, который мне комфортно работать с бойцами, тренироваться с бойцами, которые выступают на 77. Дальше набирать еще массу, у меня таких планов нету. Если поднимется килограмм-2 максимум. А так уже много работали именно на этих сборах железом, чтобы и вес поднялся. Не знаю, и так было всегда нелегкое. Сейчас посмотрю, сколько я после боя наберу. Если после боя через месяц у меня вес будет прежним 83-84, то можно об этом разговаривать. Но если уже будет больше 85, учитывая, что и вес поднялся, и так нелегко было, я думаю, надо будет сесть с командой и поговорить.
Moving on to Jack Della Maddalena's last performance, Carlos Prates said he expected Jack to lose after a long layoff and injury, thinking the fight would be slow and decided on points. Instead, Jack returned at a higher level and was impressed with his performance. However, Prates noted that Islam was on another level, calling him a blanket for his unmatched top control compared to Belal Muhammad.
I was thinking Jack Della Maddalena would lose. He got injury and I was like almost 2 years without fight.
Yeah.
And then he come to different level, bro. He was like gonna be a board fight by points and things like that. But bro, what he did was really good work. He grew up a lot.
Yeah, but
he come a different level.
Yeah, but Islam is a different animal. And if there's one thing that I could say in that fight, Islam Makhachev, he gets on top of you.
Yeah.
He's a blanket, bro.
Yeah.
Top control that Islam has in comparison to Belal is completely different.
Regarding camp advantages, Nick Barnhill explained that having Alexander Volkanovski in Jack Della Maddalena's camp is a huge advantage because Volkanovski has experience fighting Islam Makhachev and successfully defending takedowns. While Jack isn't as dynamic as Volkanovski, his clean boxing, footwork, and size make him a real threat. Barnhill believed that if Islam couldn't impose his grappling, Jack's striking and natural welterweight size could cause serious problems.
Volkanovski knows how Islam feels, and if you go back to their first fight, he was wildly successful at defending a lot of those takedowns. He was able to scramble really well. He was able to get on top a couple times. Now, I don't know if Jack is as good of a grappler as Volkanovski, and certainly body type plays a role in this as well, but it's a different set of skills, right? He's not going to be changing stances quite as much as Volkanovski. He's not quite as dynamic on his feet, but he's putting really clean boxing in your face. He stays just outside of range. He doesn't just back straight up with his head high. He finds an angle to come off of, and then he looks to mount some more offense on you. I do think Jack Della Maddalena possesses a lot of problems for Islam, and if Islam isn't able to implement his game plan, will that be the deciding factor in if he gets his hand raised or not? Because Volkanovski, who was a 45er, came up and gave you everything you could handle and then some in their first fight. What could a guy who's got Volkanovski in his corner and in his camp be able to do if he's naturally coming from 170 and lives at about 195?
On fight strategy, Belal Muhammad said he's focused on his next fight before thinking about about the belt. He gave his prediction for the Islam fight versus Jack Della Maddalena, explaining that it depends on whether Islam can take the fight to the ground. If he does, Islam's grappling is on another level, and he could secure a submission, but getting it there would be the key challenge.
It's my belt, so for me, I got to work my next opponent. So after I get my next win, then I can talk about the belt.
What's your prediction for Islam and JDM?
I think it just comes down to if Islam can get it to the ground. If it gets it to the ground, I think Islam will be levels above him on the ground and could catch a submission, but you got to get it there first.
From a divisional perspective, Michael Bisping explained that if Islam Makhachev moves up to 170, wins the belt, and then vacates it, it would damage the welterweight division's credibility. This would leave two fighters competing for a vacant title that feels less legitimate. He compared it to Georges St-Pierre's move to middleweight, where GSP won the belt and relinquished it without defending.
However, I don't think going up to 170, beat Jack, take the belt, then relinquish the belt and undermine it, and then just let two dudes at welterweight fight for a belt that just got vacated.
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem.
Which is what GSP did.
Yeah.
Based on these assessments, Chael Sonnen said that if Islam beat Jack Della Maddalena and became welterweight champion, it would have been very unlikely for him to return to lightweight. He explained that fighters rarely move down after success at a higher weight, even if they promised to. Sonnen warned this would have created the same problem the UFC wanted to avoid, a champion leaving his division, similar to Ilia Toporia's situation.
If Islam was to beat Jack and Islam was to be the 170-pound champion, the idea that he would drop to 155 for me is really hard to imagine. Though I know if you ask Islam today, he'll say that's precisely what he's going to do. But he also doesn't know life on the other side of the tracks. Never have I witnessed somebody have success at a weight class and then elect to lose weight. He doesn't understand how much more pleasant he will be as a person, how much more enjoyable his experience in this sport will be. It's tough to believe that he's going to cut that weight and go down to 155. Not to mention, it just puts you in the exact same situation we were at 2 months ago, in a very situation that you tried to avoid, which is to have a champion leaving his weight class. They did not want Islam and this whole champ thing to be. They didn't want that for Ilia.
On the other hand, Max Holloway said he believed Islam is an elite fighter and performs well, but warned people not to underestimate Jack Della Maddalena. He called Jack one of the best fighters in the world and expected their rumored fight, possibly in October, to be tough and exciting. Holloway emphasized that Jack was dangerous and shouldn't be counted out.
I think he'd be fine, man. I think he'd be good, but people be sleeping on Jack, you know what I mean? And I think Jack is one of the best fighters in the world right now, and I think people is gonna find out when that match happens. I don't know. I'm hearing rumors maybe October. I think it's gonna be a fun fight, smart fight, but a lot of people counting out Jack for I don't know what reason. They just keep counting him out. Kind of reminds me of when I was like coming up and counting me out about certain fights. So I mean, he is, he's the number 2 pound for pound in the world right now, but he's the number 2 pound for pound in the world for a reason, so you got to respect that, but don't sleep on Jack. I think it's going to be a tough and fun fight.
Meanwhile, Michael Chiesa gave Jack Della Maddalena credit for his composure against Belal Muhammad. He praised Jack for switching stances, staying away from the cage, and forcing Belal to fight his fight. Chiesa noted that Jack succeeded outside his usual grappling style, showing great versatility. Then he questioned whether Jack could replicate that success against Islam Makhachev.
We have to give credit to Jack Della because he did such a good job not getting boxed in. He was able to change stances, strike from both stances, and avoid the pressure from Belal. Because if Belal can box you in and get past that black line, he's gonna. And when I say black line, it's the octagon within the octagon. There's that black line right by the fence, and if he can get you past that black line, that's when he pours it on the thickest. And he did a good job using his stance changes to not get boxed in, forced Belal into taking long shots, and forced Belal to fight his fight. So I got to give credit to the former champion. He fought a great fight outside of his wheelhouse, which is his grappling, but credit to Jack Della for fighting a great fight.
Regarding grappling dynamics, Craig Jones pointed out that Islam's past fights revealed openings and that most fighters didn't correct such mistakes until after a loss. He noted Islam struggled to fully control Dustin Poirier, which suggests Jack would be tough to hold down. Jones believed Jack's strength and scrambling would make him a serious challenge for Islam on the ground.
I mean, obviously, I can't talk about it in too much detail, but I mean, you can just watch his grappling and sort of see opportunities. Like you can go back and look at past fights and see where the guys have been able to get up or reverse him. And then obviously we're still focused on the fact that, even if he's made those errors before, will he have changed them? And usually I find most people don't adjust an error until they take a loss. So everyone always has mistakes in the grappling. So I think, Islam, even against Poirier, didn't look as good as I thought.
Couldn't really hold him down as well, right?
Yeah, so I think Jack's gonna be super tough. Jack's tough for me to hold down, obviously.
From a size and style perspective, Ian Gary explained that Islam Makhachev is phenomenal everywhere, but emphasized the extra 15 pounds at welterweight could impact the fight. He pointed out that Volkanovski and Poirier gave Islam tough fights. Gary believed Jack Della Maddalena's size, sharp boxing, and solid takedown defense could create problems for Islam.
It's such a tough one to talk about. Islam is phenomenal, is good everywhere. Size matters. When you're talking about an extra 15 pounds, when you look at the size of Volkanovski versus Jack Della Maddalena, there's a big size discrepancy. And Volk gave him a good fight. And then Dustin Poirier, it wasn't absolutely completely dominant by Islam. It was a tough fight. Size is going to play a huge part, even on the ground. I feel like Jack could get it done with just some clean boxing and good takedown defense. But I can absolutely see Islam coming in and doing what Islam does and going out there and just looks like the phenomenal mixed martial artist he is.
From a tactical point of view, Sean O'Malley praised Islam Makhachev's overall skill set. He called him elite in every area of MMA. He highlighted that Islam's boxing is highly underrated, noting his slick movement, timing, and striking ability. O'Malley emphasized that Islam is like a black belt in every aspect of the game, making him one of the most complete fighters in the sport.
How do you think Islam does at welterweight?
Who knows? I heard he's not going to be any smaller than Jack come fight night. 55 to 70, that's a little bit different than 35 to 45, 45 to 55. But when your skill level is that high as Islam's is,
the welterweight division is heating up like never before, and Islam Makhachev's move adds a whole new layer of intrigue. Will he dominate at 170 the same way he did at lightweight, or will Jack Della Maddalena's size and striking prove too much? And what about the potential clash with Khamzat Chimaev? Could that be the biggest super fight in UFC history? One thing's for sure, fans are in for something special. Drop your predictions in the comments, let us know who you think comes out on top, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more breakdowns like this.